Welcome back to my channel. My name is Bjorn and I am currently in Africa, Nairobi, Kenya. That is why I'm called Bjorn in Africa, because I'm in Africa right now. And it's a beautiful evening in Nairobi, Kenya. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, and I would like to thank each and every one of you, because guess what? We're over 4,000 subscribers now, my friends. 4,000 subscribers. We're on the road to 5,000 subscribers, and I thank you very much. So make sure to continue to subscribe. You could also join the channel and become a member, and make sure to continue to like the videos, share it with all your friends and family. You could also become a member of my channel and join the mission. The mission of this channel is to bridge the gap between Africa and the Caribbean islands. And that is the mission, my friends. I am from the Caribbean island nation of St. Kitts and Nevis, located in the Eastern Caribbean. And we are also, my friends, going to bridge the gap between African Americans and the Caribbean and Africa, and also Black Europeans as well. Most Europeans in most Black Europeans are either of African, from the continent of Africa, or they have grandparents or parents from the Caribbean. So big up everybody from Europe, especially the UK, London, Birmingham. I have a lot of friends there. So much love. So today is a very special topic, my friends. I would like to wish African Americans happy Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth. Juneteenth is a special day in America because June 19 of 1865 was when the African American slaves were freed from the plantations in America. And remember, I told you in my previous videos about the transatlantic slave trade. This occurred hundreds of years ago, where Europeans went into West Africa and they got Africans from West Africa, Central Africa, and they shipped them across the Atlantic Ocean, our ancestors. They shipped across the Atlantic Ocean, and some were dropped off in the Caribbean, some were dropped off in South America, and some was dropped off in Southern America and North America as well. So that is why you have a lot of Black people in America, because of the transatlantic slave trade. A lot of Black people in the Caribbean because of that. So we are one family. That is why I say we're going to bridge the gap, my friends. But in the Caribbean, Emancipation Day, whereas the freeing of slaves, African slaves, in enslaved Africans, as we normally put it, was freed in the Caribbean in 1834. So America got their freedom of the enslaved Africans in America in 1865. That's about 30 something years after the enslaved Africans was freed in the Caribbean. So, but a lot of people don't know the history of Juneteenth. You know, America was divided between the South America, southern states, and the northern states. In the southern states is where they had most of the slavery, where you had a lot of African Americans enslaved there in the South of America, Southern America, like Louisiana, Texas, Florida, South Carolina. Those areas was you had a lot of slaves for hundreds of years in America, same as the Caribbean. But in 1865, was when a massive, there was a civil war in the just before 1865 between North America and Southern America. Northern America is like New York, Boston, those states, and they were fighting against the southern region because it was like two countries in America. And the North, what used to happen is that many of the enslaved Africans used to escape from the South in slavery, and they would run to the North. And once they crossed the border in the northern states, they would be free and they would stay in the North and continue their lives. So hundreds of years of that occurred, and then it built up, it built up. You had revolts, and then what happened, you had a built-up of population in the North where you had hundreds of thousands of African Americans living in the North, but you had hundreds of thousands of African Americans living in the South. So what happened when Abraham Lincoln came in, the North wanted the whole of the United States to be like the North. They wanted the South to join the North and make it one country. So what happened is that they got over 200,000 African Americans to fight with the Union Army. The Union Army was an army of the North because it was like a country by itself. The North was like a country by itself. So they had over 200,000 African Americans to fight with that Union Army to fight against the Confederate Army in the South, which was the army that was keeping slavery alive in the South. And the Union Army defeated the Southern Army, and that is when the South got their freedom in 1869 because of that war, that civil war. So the Black Americans fought with the Union Army and defeated the Confederate, and that is how Black Americans won their freedom, by fighting for their rights. But what happened in America after that was 100 years after that, from 1865 when they got freedom to like 1965. During that time, they had apartheid in America where they separated. Apartheid is a very racist system where they separated blacks from whites. You had white schools, white churches, white hospitals, everything white, homes. Blacks were living in horrible conditions in America. Black people couldn't be found idling on the road. They would arrest them and send them to jail, or they would kill them, hang them from trees, and stuff like that. So it was very terrible for Black people during that time of 100 years after they got independence. Whereas in the Caribbean, in 1834, when we got independence from slavery, the Europeans left. Many of them would have left, went back to England, and they would govern from there. So the Caribbean islands were mostly governed by Black people, but they were like puppets for the powers in England until we got our independence in 1983, St. Kitts and Nevis. And other Caribbean islands got their independence in the 1960s, 50s, 70s, thereabout. So Americans suffered, Black Americans suffered. And I'm saying that what I don't like, remember I told you the army, it was over 200,000 African Americans that fought with the Union Army of the North to free the enslaved Africans from the South, including Texas, which was the largest, had over 200,000. 250,000 enslaved Africans living in Texas. So after the African Americans would have fought with the Union Army and freed the enslaved Africans from the South, they were treated horribly after that period of time when the North experienced, because of that victory, they got the United States of America to form, and everybody prospered. The Europeans who were living there in the North, they prospered more because now they had the whole country. But African Americans didn't get anything. They didn't get anything. They were supposed to be given, to me, I think they were supposed to be given a couple states in America for their country, African Americans, so they could reestablish there and live there, build their cities, build their homes. And that is what was supposed to happen. But I guess fighting for freedom from slavery was all on their minds. And once they got free, they were happy. But that wasn't a good deal, my friends, because many would have benefited from that deal. African Americans, the blood, sweat, and tears would have brought America to what it is today. African Americans built America through slavery, number one, and through the Civil War victory that brought the United States of America together to make America what it is today. So today we celebrate African Americans for their tremendous work during the hundreds of years and after slavery, their contribution towards building America. They worked hundreds of years for free. That was terribly wrong, but they made a lot of people wealthy in America, and they were able to build up America because of the blood, sweat, and tears of African Americans. So America is what it is today because of our brothers and sisters in America, the African Americans. So happy Juneteenth. Juneteenth is a big public holiday, and I'm really disappointed because it's only in 2021, I think, the holiday was declared a public holiday. So all the years before that, it wasn't a public holiday. And you see how hard African Americans had to work for what they have today. They're still fighting because of the condition that they're in, surrounded by white supremacy and others who are trying to keep them down, my friends. Whereas we in the Caribbean, most of our governments and everybody are black. The Europeans, they would have left, and we're self-governing ourselves there in the Caribbean islands. So African Americans have a different struggle, my friends, similar to South Africa, but different still, because South Africa, the black African population is massive. It way outnumber the white population there, whereas in America, the black population is just about something like 13%. So that's very small. So you see they are in a very tough situation. So let us give them our support, my friends, and let us bridge the gap between the Caribbean, Africa, America with the African Americans, and Europe, England, Britain, a lot of black Caribbean and African Americans, not African Americans, a lot of black people from the continent of Africa and from the Caribbean is living in England. So all of us together, let us bridge the gap, my friends. Let us work together, and that is the purpose of my channel. I hope you enjoyed this video tonight, and I would like to say happy Juneteenth again. Today is the 19th of June. That is why it's called Juneteenth. It's a big holiday in the United States of America, big public holiday where they're celebrating the emancipation of African Americans from a brutal, inhumane slavery for hundreds of years that built America. and cause them to be sitting on that wealth that they have today because of the blood, sweat, and tears from our brothers and sisters in America. Much love to my African American family, and happy Juneteenth. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. We're on the road to 5,000 subscribers. We're going to reach there in short time, my friends. Make sure to watch all the ads. Watch all the ads. Don't skip them. Make sure to watch them and subscribe to my channel. Much love, and I'll see you again in the next video. Bye-bye.